Benny, he had a discussion with his crew chief, Kevin Mannion, during the break about what the car was doing. He said it's sliding around a lot, but the balance is really pretty good. Mannion radioed back that he thinks he'll go down on air pressures all the way around on their first stop to try to correct that.
Yeah, Kevin Mannion was not very optimistic about their chances of winning today. They feel like they'll have maybe a top 10 car, maybe even a top 5 car, but they going to have, as you talked about, Jeff, they're going to have to make perfect adjustments on that first stop if they're going to win.
And they find a way to do it. You know, every single week they get the best at the end of the race. So I wouldn't count this group out. Those guys are really good at making their car better or keeping it good during the race. I wouldn't count that 8 car out of this race by any means.
Michael Waltrip, 99. Jimmy Spencer, 74. That's 28th place they're racing for.
So Mike Waltrip started 37, so he is marching forward on board with Michael.
Some debris on this camera there. I don't know if 74 is leaking water or something.
Saw him smoking just a moment ago.
Yeah.
How about a race for 10th place? How about 5th place? Johnny Sauter, Robbie Gordon.
And finally, it's only taken him 20 laps, but Sauter gets by the 55 car. Matt, what about the 55? You got problems?
The BP, he's been fighting a tight condition pretty much all weekend, and that's carried over to the race. The car not bad. He did drop one spot from 5th to 6th, but that's what he's saying. It's still tight.
And what Matt is talking about, when he goes to the corner and turns the steering wheel, the car doesn't want to turn. It wants to go straight. And in our terminology, that's called tight.
And the problem with that is if it started out tight, it's only going to get tighter. If you're tight when the race starts and they drop the green flag, chances of that getting better for you during that run are pretty slim. You tend to get tighter and tighter.
All right, here we go. Cars in turn 3 coming down for the green flag to restart this thing on lap 68.
And your race leader, Kyle Busch, has set a new mark for NASCAR Busch Series rookies, BP and Jeff.
And that is what?
Most laps led in a season by a rookie.
Oh.
He has gone over 1,000 laps led in this season today.
It's quite a season.
Got Jamie McMurray, Greg Biffle, Kevin Harvick, and Rusty Wallace chasing the leader, Kyle Busch. Matt Yoakum chasing Stories down in the 5 teams pit.
Alan, he broke that record set by Greg Biffle. Now he wants to break another one. He wants one more win, scoring his 6th win this season. He's hoping it comes today. He said the car earlier was loose on entry. They have worked on that with track bar adjustment and air pressure. He said it's better. Not as loose, but it is tight through the center.
And this young man next year, talking about the leader, Kyle Busch, will be running NASCAR Nextel Cup against all these fellows that's trying to chase him down now, driving the number 5 Kellogg's car for Rick Hendry.
Then Kyle Busch did something here the other day that was pretty smart, considering he's never seen this racetrack before.
He was on the airplane Tuesday, and that's why you were going so early. He said, well, believe it or not, I grew up in Las Vegas, but I've never been around Phoenix Raceway. There was a Southwest Series race here Thursday. He called up, he got himself a ride, and got 125 laps of practice getting ready for this.
Plus the qualifying, plus the practice time.
That's right. So very, very bright on his part to come out and at least get some time around the track. And it worked out. He's on the pole and has led every lap.
There's a great way to improve in this sport, and that's get in it every chance you can. And for a young guy like Kyle to give himself an opportunity to go to a racetrack he's never been to before, that's a great thing. That's what makes you a better race car driver.
So Kyle was on an airplane Tuesday to come out here and get extra racing experience and improve himself professionally.
Exactly.
Why were you on the airplane Tuesday?
There's golf to play.
Oh, is that what it was?
Golf to play.
Golf to be played.
You were improving yourself professionally in a profession you'll never make a living in.
Boy, that's true.
This race for 6th place, Robbie Gordon in 55, chased by Ashton Lewis, Matt Kenseth, and Mark Martin. Here he comes.
Hey, look at Mark on the inside of Kenseth. Going by, hey, Marty, 17, lost a spot.
Uh-oh, VP.
I don't think he's too worried, though. They're very happy. Matt said the car is very good. We just need a long run. He said, quote, if we can get a long run, I will wear them out. He said that on lap 66.
Well, all right, we'll check it out.
You see Mark Martin, early in the race, he ran that outside line to get by somebody. I don't remember who it was, and now he's running it over in 1 and 2 every single lap, and that's why he got such a good run on the 17. He ran that high line and made that motor run really, really well down the back straightaway, and he ended up pulling down the inside of the 17 and getting by him. Outside's really working well in 1 and 2.
All right, so Mark ran the bottom 3 and 4. This time he goes in 1 and 2. Does he go to the top?
He's on the bottom because he's got Matt behind him. He don't want Matt to get under.
He shifted from offense to defense, right?
That's right.
So Martin and Kenseth, the Roush Racing teammates, running for 8th and 9th now. And let's check with Marty.
His teammate Mark Martin, you guys are talking about trying to keep Matt Kenseth behind him. He too wants a long run. He said, hopefully we can get a long run here to finally show how good this race car is. Mark said the car is pretty close to neutral, just a little too tight in the middle of the corner.
A little damage on the 10th place car, maybe, Shane Neal?
Well, this is off turn 2, not turn 4, but just got on the gas and thought he would turn, but guess what? It didn't turn.
He never got out of it, though.
Shane Neal on board this 32 for 2005 and getting started last weekend in Atlanta with his new ride for next year.
But you know, if you back off the gas, Jeff, you know, you lose that momentum, you lose all that distance. If you just, well, maybe it'll miss it, you keep in the gas, you don't lose all that space.
I tell everybody all the time that nobody would ever hit anything if nobody cared how fast we went. And when you're in that race car, the only thing you're worried about is passing that guy in front of you and keeping the guy behind you from passing you. So you step on that gas before you ought to sometimes to go as fast as you can. And when you do, sometimes you brush the wall. That's what we're supposed to do.
Championship leader Martin Truex Jr. lost another spot, Dave. He's in 13th.
And that demeanor we were talking about, Alan, became just a little animated during the last caution period. In fact, they were talking about communication problems. Martin said, I'm having a little trouble with my earplugs. But I said, okay, everybody, calm down. Everybody's a little bit on edge. We're not in bad shape. I know what to do to fix this car. And Martin radioed back, it was a little bit better that run, too. So staying positive, trying to keep his young driver in this game.
Bono really is a good crew chief. He understands. I think he understands drivers. Not having been a driver, I think he understands about as well as anyone.
Yeah, normally when the driver gets upset, it's the crew chief's radio that breaks. You know what I mean?
I do.
Who's the best crew chief you had at keeping you calm inside the race car, Jeff, and just keeping you focused when things weren't going well?
Well, I've been really lucky to have a lot of good crew chiefs. Frank Sauter and I did a great job together. Kevin Hamlin and I doing a really good job. But Buddy Parrott was probably the best at communicating with not only me, but with everybody. Buddy's just, you know, he was calming. He'd yell at you when you needed to be yelled at, and he would hug you when you needed to be hugged. And he could do that over the radio as well as in person. And but Kevin Hamlin has been really impressive to me. I think we got something good going there.
I figured you'd say, Buddy. Had a lot of success at a key point in your career. Got a little hot race for the lead starting to develop here, huh?
Yeah, what we've seen for sure is the 5 car runs really, really strong on new tires. And the 41 just keeps running the same lap time over and over and over and over. So we talked about Mark and Matt wanting long runs. I think this 41 car with Jamie McMurray, they want a long run as well.
Marty, how about the 41 car? What have they said? Anything?
He confirmed what you guys were saying earlier under the last caution on the radio. He said, you know what? I'm better than him through 1 and 2, but through 3 and 4, he's got more grip than me. He's got something. I cannot get the run off of 4 that he gets, and that's where he's beating me every time. And Kyle Busch still doing that to Jamie McMurray.
You see Kyle Busch still continues to run right on the bottom. I think that Jamie, when he moves up the racetrack like Mark, he really gets through this 1 and 2 well.
It really does. And if you can just run the same as somebody through the corner, running the high line, it makes you so much faster down the straightaway because it doesn't bind that engine up. So if you can make good time on the outside, you tend to really do a good job.
Pressure. Trying to see if he can force the young driver into a mistake. Beautiful day in the shadows of the Estrella Mountains, and a new leader here at Phoenix in the NASCAR Busch Series 200 miler.
And we'll show you how that Jimmy McMurray was able to take that lead. They run across a slow car, and the 5 car had to back off the gas for just an instant, and that instant is all it took for the 41 to drive up on the inside and take the lead away.
And once he got by him, he was gone. No catching him.
You see Mike McLaughlin in the 25 car has come back on the racetrack. He's 46 laps down.
Let's take you through the field and let you know how everybody's doing at this point in the race. Marty has the leader for us.
And that would be Jamie McMurray. We saw the pass and how good the car is. Jamie came on the radio right when this run began, said it's really good right now. About 5 laps later, he said, guys, you know what? It's the best it's been all day. Got around Kyle Busch, now trying to set sail and keep the lead. Matt?
Kyle Busch told me he felt like he gained a huge advantage running the Southwest Series race on Thursday. He finished 7th. He's currently running in the 2nd position. He told Lance McGrew, you've got to help me make this car turn better in the center. Lance, don't worry. We've got to stop one more time. We don't think anybody can make it on fuel from here on out, Dave.
After this particular race car ran its 4th race of the season, finishing 13th at Nashville, Greg said to his crew chief, please don't bring this car back. But Brad Parrott said, I couldn't give up a $100,000 race car, so I changed the pivot points on the suspension. He's driven on this last run from the 6th position on the restart up to 3rd. 66 car Rusty Wallace has gone actually stayed right where he was. They had a good pit stop, picked up some positions last time, got some track position. This time, car a little bit tight, took some wedge out. Matt?
Robbie Gordon knows a lot about success here at Phoenix. In fact, back in 1995, he won a kart champ car race. Currently runs in the 5th position. He's been pretty quiet on the radio, Dave, but he says that tight condition is still with this race car. They tried shuffling the air pressures on the last stop to fix it, but it's still tight.
Crew chief Bono Mannion said, I know what to do to fix this race car. And it was fairly simple, a track bar adjustment and a very clean stop. The car was loose. It's come around. He's gone from 11th to the 6th position on this run. Marty?
Dave, on the previous stop, Mark Martin had a tight race car, so they took air pressure out of both left side tires. Mark said, you know what? Put that back. Car way too loose right now for Mark. They were pretty balanced before. Mark wants the car with the air pressure adjustment the other way. Matt Kenseth, his car has started to pick up a bad push. It happened in the first run, happening now. Midway through the run, car just gets way too tight for Matt. Can't turn it off the corner like he would like. Matt?
Ashton Lewis Jr. in the 46 car slowly fading. He's in the 9th position. He's telling his team the car is just way too tight. You need to free me up. Marty, this team has really been on a roll. In the last 4 races, they have finished 12th or better 3 times.
Matt just talked to Newt Moore, Johnny Sauter's crew chief. He said, you know what, the car is pretty good. We're still trying to recover from that bad pit stop earlier in the day. I may try 2 tires on the last stop. We're as good as the 41 and the 5. We just need to get up there with them. Dave?
Yesterday, Shane Meal told me that his car drives well, but it's not as quick as it needs to be. On this last pit stop, the car was tight, so they made a track bar adjustment. He's only picked up 1 position since the restart. Matt?
Tony Raines having a very solid run in the 00 car. Next week, Justin Labonte will take over this car for the final 2 races this year, and then will drive this car all of 2005. Tony says the car is good. It was loose earlier. They have fixed that. And Mike Bliss, the 20 car, who won at Charlotte, having a good run, not a great run. The car, though, still tight, needs grip up off the corner. And Michael Waltrip, earlier he said, tell me how bad that guy hurt my car when he hit me. They fixed the fender, and he is slowly working his way up. The car was tight. They made some adjustments, made a track bar adjustment. And Kevin Harvick, part frustration over the pit stop, part frustration over the car. They just cannot fix that loose condition, Dave. He is fading quickly.
Kenny Wallace's crew tried to fix the loose condition. The car got tighter. It has stayed tight now. Check with his crew chief just a bit back. They made an air pressure adjustment on the last run. Hasn't helped them a whole lot. Matt, you again.
And the DEI car, Paul Menard, running 17th. He's had some good runs this year. 5 straight top 20 finishes. The car was tight and it was loose. They've been going back and forth. Right now they're just trying to work the tight out of it. Meanwhile, Tim Fedewa racing with a heavy heart. Michigan legend Max Dowker passed away recently, 70-something years old. A hero to Tim. His dad raced for him. Working on his race car today, though, the car was tight in the gas pretty much most of the day, Marty.
Thank you, Matthew. Phoenix resident J.J. Yaley finally is getting his car a little bit better. You see on the screen, started 33rd. It's been a steady progress through the field. Car been way too tight. They've tried everything to make this car a little bit better. Casey Kane, after finishing 3rd last week in Atlanta, it has been a struggle for this team today. Car extremely tight for Casey, chattering the front tires, quote, like crazy. I don't know what to tell you guys, dude, to fix this thing to make it any better.
Well, a lot of people have to do a lot of fixing to keep up with Jamie McMurray and Kyle Busch. It has been a 2-car race. Class of the field thus far, those two.
They have been. There we see McMurray going by the 59 car of Stacy Compton running 23rd, putting him a lap down.
Kenny Wallace, the leader. Fuel only on his pit stop. He had changed all the sets of tires he was allowed to change earlier. We'll see how long he's able to hold off Kyle Busch for the top spot.
Got a good start. It's the corner that's hard with old tires.
Yeah, the straightaway is okay.
Hanging in there better than I thought he would, though. But here they come.
And what a job again by Kyle Busch's pit crew to again take the lead on that set of pit stops.
And so many times we've seen the 41 car, it takes him 30 or 40 laps to get back in front of the 5. Right now with about 45 laps to go, does he have time to catch Kyle Busch and try to catch him? Marty?
BP, that's exactly what Brian Patty told Jamie McMurray under the caution. He said that last run was 50 laps. The run to finish this race, 50 laps. So we should get by him. It'll take a while. Be patient, but you're better than him at the end of the run.
It took him 30 laps to pass him. The last run. It was 30 laps. So,
Okay.
But it's different when it's 50 to go and when it's 100 to go.
Exactly.
And Kyle Busch will put up a big fight with 20 to go versus what he put up a little while ago.
And Lance McGrew and the crew on this 5 car probably made some changes on the last stop to hopefully make the 5 car a little bit better.
We've seen the 41 have trouble in the pits with the right front almost every stop. This time the right front was flawless. They had problems
On the rear, that's right. Matt, what about the 5 car? They make any changes?
BP, they know as the run progresses, the car starts to go tight, so they made an air pressure adjustment trying to fix that. Now they're hoping to hold on for a win. Now we know all about the recent events. This team would love to get a win for the Hendrick family. In fact, crew chief Lance McGrew told me, you know, Ricky's truck number, BP, was
17?
17. He said his room this week is 217. When he went to go to a restaurant, he pulled the tab for the number in line, number 17. They feel like this should be their week, and they want to go to victory lane for Ricky.
The Galaba cars all racing for position. Rusty Wallace in 66 is 5th. Greg Biffle in 60 is 6th. Tony Raines in the 007. And your championship leader, Martin Truex, in the 8 is 8th. Check the championship standings as they run in this race with 44 laps to go. And what was a 176 gap starting the day, a little bit smaller.
Yeah. He's getting, what, 48 points or so?
And it's not a lot, but if it can continue, it's enough to put pressure on the 8 crowd and make them think about it a little bit going into 2 races that are very tough.
Hey, Kenny Wallace, that 23 car, he would love to have some tires, wouldn't he, Dave?
Yeah, but he was all out according to rule. I did check with his crew chief, Chris Rice. I said, how were you on old tires in practice? He said, well, I was good, but I've been bad all day, and yeah, I really wish I'd had fresh tires.
Oops.
But those are the rules that you have to abide by in NASCAR Busch Series racing. They restrict the amount of tires you can change on the caution flag, and 3 was it.
He's hung in there pretty well. I tell you, I'm surprised he's been able. You compare what he's been able to do to what the 4 car did when they didn't have any tires, and it's not going to be pretty for him here in a few laps, but it's better than I thought it would be.
Mark Martin in the 9 sliding by Kenny Wallace. Mark up to 8th. Not been as much of a factor today as we thought.
The 2 leaders have just been in another league. They just all day long just been so much better than everybody else. The 9 and the 17 and the 8, some of those guys have run well, but compared to those 2 leaders, they haven't.
Marty?
Alan, just hearing from Mark's tone on the radio, Mark Martin we're talking about, he just seemed like the air pressure adjustment they made before the last run really hurt them, set them very far back. They put that air pressure back, and Mark said he can tell already the car even a little bit better now because he just got way too loose on that last run.
So Mark hanging in there in the 8th spot. Truex trying to gain some of those points back from Kyle Busch.
Just knew he was going to slide up and make contact with the 00, but Truex did a great job to avoid that. Like he's going to take that spot away. Meanwhile, see Greg Biffle trying to get by Rusty Wallace going down in the corner. That's for the 4th position. Robbie Gordon is currently 3rd.
Robbie Gordon's team had a great pit stop, got him out in front of a lot of those guys. Rusty had a good pit stop. The 00 had a good pit stop, and that mixed this thing up a little bit.
You know, this time, it might not take 30 laps for that 41 car to get back in front because he is closed up right on the back of the 5 car.
Trying a little different line there in 1 and 2.
All day long, McMurray in that 41 car has made good time on the high side off turns 1 and 2. Down here they run about almost the same tracks, but Jamie's able to change his line a little bit in turn 1. Now that time he didn't have a very good lap. Corner off 3 and 4.
I got a vibration.
Uh-oh, that's Kyle Busch, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kyle.
Let me know if it gets worse.
Vibration just after a pit stop.
Oh, man. And when a really good pit stop usually means the wheel has been left loose.
But you know, we have the advantage of listening to almost everybody. We've heard a lot of people complain about vibrations today that didn't have problems. So if Lance has heard that, he's probably telling Kyle, hey, look, other people have had that vibration too. Kyle's got to be the one to make the call.
They're telling me everything's tight, bud.
There you go. Everything's tight. And
Matty.
Alan, Lance McGrew pointed to the tire changers. They all nodded. They feel like they got all the lugs tight on the 5 car.
All right.
Here's how we got to this point at Phoenix today. Robert Presley with some early left rear troubles. And Joe Nemechek found some problems in that same incident.
Yeah, that tire hit the hood of Joe Nemechek. Lap 34. See Mike McLaughlin, the 25 car, make contact with turn 4 wall and broke the transmission, trying to get the car slowed down.
Michael Waltrip, David Stremme. Little tangle off turn 4, no harm, no foul. John Graham has had a couple of problems today.
Oh, right front tire goes flat, goes down, might not hit the turn 1 wall too hard, and we see the 41 car take the lead. Jamie McMurray goes by the 5 of Kurt Busch.
Second of John Graham's 2 spins in this race. And on the set of pit stops, Kyle Busch got back out in front of Jamie McMurray. So 30 laps later,
Didn't we just see this?
deja vu all over again.
All over again.
Then another set of pit stops on a caution.
For those 5 months, they have been terrific on pit road today.
And now this most recent yellow flag that has slowed the field when Johnny Sauter had an engine problem, dropped debris and liquid on the racetrack. 25 lap sprint to the finish. And what has been a 2-car race. Jamie McMurray trying to get around Kyle Busch.
he got a good restart here.
He got a great restart. He's trying to get on the inside. He's there.
See if he can pull it off. The outside's been working.
Oh, 5 car would not give it up. He would not give up that lead. But here's where you might have some troubles trying to run on the outside.
He did it.
41 to the front.
24 to go. Jamie McMurray takes the lead. Busch to try him back.
Kyle Busch is going to try it on the inside and retake the lead. And does it. All right, Kyle.
That is
You're the man, Kyle. 23 more laps, buddy. Awesome job.
That's his crew chief, Lance McGrew. That is a very determined young man behind the wheel of that 5 car.
I'd say that's 3 determined young men right there.
Yes.
All 3 of those guys want it bad. You got to, obviously, the 5 car, with all they've been through recently, they want to win really badly. And they're racing that point championship, too. Don't forget about that. Well, let's see if the 41, what happens here. It's still, 23 to go. The 41.
And Robbie Gordon, his 55 car, all of a sudden, they're not driving off from him. He's hanging with these guys.
Robbie's been to victory lane this season, this team that he owns. He won the second race at Richmond. A lot of folks think there are setup similarities between the two racetracks as far as how the race car works. Robbie's pit crew, we were talking about this earlier, but got him a couple spots on that last set of stops and put him in position to maybe challenge.
It's that 31 Singler crew that pits the NASCAR Next Trail Cup car, comes over and helps them on Saturday in the NASCAR Busch Series, and they are terrific.
Yeah, they really have been. The 5 crew's been really good today, and the 55 crew's been really good.
Of course, that 5 team, Hendrick Motorsports operation. Ricky Hendrick was the owner of this car after stepping away as its driver a couple of years ago now, and desperately wanting to get into victory lane in the memory of those lost in the plane crash a couple of weeks ago.
I noticed today that during driver introduction, Kyle Busch had his uniform tied around his waist and had on a GMAC t-shirt trying to honor the memory of Ricky Hendrick.
The Hendrick attitude is infectious, and if you're around it, you want to be with it.
Check this out. Truex, the 8 car by Biffle in the 4th. What a great run. Adjustments Bono has made. This young guy has learned this racetrack very well. Dave, I'm impressed with Truex and Bono, this entire crew.
And he told Bono before the last pit stop, I've got to get some more grip on this car. When I get on the throttle, when I hit the gas, it breaks away. Can you give me some more grip? Track bar adjustment did it. He's going to the front.
And Jeff, I'm just thinking back to a comment you made earlier. Remember when we heard the report about the crew chief, Kevin Mannion, telling the team, calm down, I know what to do to fix this race car. And you said that's what champions are made of. Staying calm, staying after it.
Yeah, these guys just don't quit. And you see in a lot of races, they're not the best car during a certain portion of the race. But that doesn't mean they quit. They just keep working and working and working. And Martin Truex has done a great job of telling the team what the car needs. And Bono and those guys do a good job of giving the changes that Martin's feeling. A driver feels things, and then it's up to the team to make the changes so that the driver feels what he's looking for.
Burns, you have more?
Yeah, just a good conversation with Martin Truex on Friday afternoon. Just talking to him about being a challenger for the Busch Series title. And he said, you know what? It has been such a long year. I cannot remember the first 5 races of the season. Remember, he had a win at Bristol in the first 5 races. He said, I love it. I love what I'm doing, but boy, has it been a long year. Matt?
All this 5 team can do to chase this championship is do the best they can, and that's win the race. That's what Kyle Busch is trying to do now. Now, VP, you talked a lot about Ricky Hendrick and this team. Now, even think back to the championship banquet last year, the flip-flops. Ricky would always wear flip-flops away from the racetrack. They've got a huge pair of flip-flops in his honor hanging from the pit box. Also, a hat that he actually signed. He is here in spirit with this team, hoping to go to victory lane. Battle for 3rd.
Martin Truex trying to get 3rd away from Robbie Gordon.
It looks like he's going to do it. Right now, Truex's 8 car might be as fast as the 541 if he could get by. He's going to get by. He's there.
Truex talking about the long season. Basketball. Kids coming out of college, going to the NBA. The transition from the college season to the pro season. They talk about hitting the wall mentally and physically. They get about 2/3 of the way through the NBA season. This is by far the longest racing season that Martin Truex has ever experienced.
It really, these are long years, and it took me probably 7 years before I wasn't tired before the year was over. And it just, every year I'd get further into the year where I wasn't wore out and didn't hit the wall. And now it doesn't bother me. But it took me a good 7 years before I really felt good through the whole year. And I think Martin will. And then on top of that, Martin's been involved in a championship race. So he's had that stress and those pressures. And speaking of stress and pressure, we got something going on right here.
Yes,
but
we do.
I think that lengthened the year for him as well.
For the lead, McMurray trying to find a way to get around Kyle Busch with 13 laps to go. Oh, no!
Almost took out the leader, did John Graham. Oh, my goodness. And this caution flag is the break that Truex needed.
This is a game of inches right here. That right there almost took out the leader. Instead of it taking the leader out, that may have just won the race for the 5 car. His car is better on cold tires. There was a lot of pressure getting put on him. Looked like the pass was going to happen, and this caution came out. Now he gets a chance to cool his tires. This is a game of inches.
There we see Kyle Busch going in.
He was trying to get out. He made a mistake, but he made a mistake because he was trying to do the right thing. He saw the leaders coming. He got on the apron trying to get out of the way. You just can't run that far on the apron here at Phoenix getting into turn 3. You can do it in the middle of 1 and 2, but you can't do it getting into 3.
He got in the apron, which shot the car back up the racetrack, and then he had to jerk the steering wheel to avoid hitting the 5 car and spun himself out.
Yeah, but let's give him credit for trying to do the right thing and get out of the way of the leaders. He made a mistake, but he made a mistake in a good effort.
This will be an 8-lap sprint to the finish, barring another caution flag. Can Kyle Busch hold off Jamie McMurray? What'll happen to Truex on the restart?
Truex laid back, trying to. He looks like he has a thing going. Here comes McMurray on the outside, going for the lead and has it.
Cleared him. See if the 5 can battle back. That's what he did the last time. The 41 got behind, but he battled right back and took it.
Kyle tried to protect the bottom in that first set of corners. Now with 7 laps to go, McMurray's out in front.
Car's doing okay, and you're the 8 car all day long. He's in back around 5th, 8th. He's right behind the 5.
2 things going on in the 5 right now. Number 1, he just got passed. Number 2, he looks in the mirror. He hadn't seen Martin Truex all day long, and boom, there he is. So psychologically, that could be big.
Right up on the back bumper of McMurray is Kyle Busch. Not this time. Boy, McMurray got really wide off turn 2 last time. I thought that might have been the opening the 5 needed.
Well, he's running that high line, and Kyle Busch is going down on the bottom of the racetrack. McMurray is giving him the bottom of the racetrack down in 1 and 2. Here it is. If you're faster than I am, take it. Kyle Busch so far has not been able to do that.
Like we saw before, when you run the outside, it just lets the engine run better. And you just, even if the guy runs the same as you to the corner, you're going to beat him down the straightaway because it just makes the engine run so much better. And that's what Jamie's doing. He said, hey, take the bottom because I'm going to beat you to turn 3. And all day long, turn 3 is where the 5's been better. So Jamie wants as much gap between him and the 5, get into 3.
Look, got a spin, turn 2, Shane Neal. And more.
59 car, Stacy Compton.
Caution flag is out.
McMurray did not want to see that.
No, he did not. This wreck started a lap before it happened.
Yes, it did.
Did not see him coming off turn 4, 3 wide or something?
3 wide, and then behind that got bottled up.
That was one of those, everybody could see it coming. Probably even the guys behind the wheel.
Oh, my goodness. That's close to contact there.
So the caution out with 4 laps to go.
Water coming out, just spouting out of the 32 car.
And he's putting water all over the racetrack.
All right, now this is in turn 3, 3/4 of a lap before the wreck.
Did you ever see the 00 of Raines and the 21 of Harvick make contact? Now here comes the 32 of Meal. Okay, they get side by side with Raines. Oh, wow. Shane just drove her down in the corner. And finally, he had to slow down so much to get under control. Harvick ran in the back of him.
Two laps to the checkered flag. Kyle Busch has dominated the day, but Jamie McMurray has the lead as they come to the restart.
Green.
Good start. 41 got a good start.
And Truex has the 8 car up to speed.
He took the bottom.
Took the bottom, tried to take that line away. And Busch gets loose off turn 2. That getting loose off turn 2 might have lost his momentum to catch the 41 car.
Now Kyle Busch might have to play a little defense as Truex is on his back bumper. White flag waving for Jamie McMurray.
Truex hadn't been in the hunt all day long, and there he is right on the back of the 5 car. Like I said before, that's got to be demoralizing for Kyle.
Half a lap to go. McMurray, Busch, Truex.
I think that Kyle lost his momentum off turn 2 that first lap and just was never able to get it back.
Kyle Busch led 151 of the laps that will be run today, but it's going to be Jamie McMurray scoring the win. Second win of 2004 for McMurray. And the championship duo finishing back-to-back in second and third. And the championship standings in the NASCAR Busch Series with 2 races to go. Darlington next Saturday, and then Homestead Miami Speedway in 2 weeks.
Well, Truex made a tremendous comeback. At one point, it was, what, 113-point difference.
And while we wait for the winner to get to victory lane, we check the final results from today's Bashas' 200 here at Phoenix. McMurray with his second win of 2004 and his 6th NASCAR Busch Series win out of 100 starts.
Ashton Lewis has another top 10 finish.
Kevin Harvick, we talked about him fading, wound up 13th at the checkered flag.
Paul Menard, a good run for him today. And J.J. Yaley, a local driver, finishes 15th.
Michael Waltrip 19th, despite involvement in that last little mess. And Wally finished the first car 1 lap down.
I don't have to wash his car after this one. I have about 1 more bullet to dodge, and I'll be okay. Stacy Compton, see him there?
A lot of these guys out of the race at the end of the day. Now Blaney involved in the early crash.
And Jamie McMurray with a car that everyone thought could win, maybe would win today. Jamie, you brought home in first. Congratulations.
Yeah, we just couldn't go on the short go. It was really good on old tires, and Chip and Felix have done a really good job assembling this team. It's only the 5th or 6th race, and this is the home of Discount Tires, so really cool, man. It's cool to get to win like that.